Everybody, and welcome back to a Hex Token channel, and we're going to be talking all about Pulsechain today. Of course, it's going to be a lot of fun. Get in there, folks. It's going to be really cool. And of course, how to double your crypto for free. How to double your crypto for free, folks. Does that sound good? Sounds good to me. And of course, it sounds good to thousands and thousands of other people, potentially millions of people. And we're going to talk about all of that. So, woohoo! 300 million people will be able to qualify. People that have wallets on the Ethereum blockchain. We're going to get into all of it into this live stream. Over 500,000 projects, tokens on the Ethereum blockchain, all getting copied over to Pulsechain. We're going to talk about it. Stay tuned. If you're new to Pulsechain, don't know much about it, heard a little bit maybe, of course, it is going to be a massive Pulsechain airdrop, the biggest in crypto history. Stay tuned for that. We're going to get into a deep dive. For those who are new, you want to find out more information, we're going to give you a great deep dive overview. Does that make sense? I think so. So we're going to get into that. Let's get who's in the house here. We've got quite a few people, so a big welcome to everybody. Let me just check the audio is up and running and make sure everything is okay with that, and then get into the chat. Sounds good to me. So we're going to say hello in the chat, and of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. If you like airdrops, of course, stay tuned. Pulsechain is not launched yet. We're going to talk about that too. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's get into the chat and say hello first, as is always customary. We've got Unimax in the house there. Hey, good to see Unimax first. Woo! And Bitfinex as well. Amazing and excited too. Good to see Bitfinex and Hex as well. Good to see KD. 2 to 5 Gwei at the moment on Ethereum chain. It is particularly low on the Ethereum chain. And of course, Pulsechain will be the first full system state copy of Ethereum. We know that when Ethereum gets congested, the prices go up pretty fast. So Pulsechain is going to offer the ultimate solution. Hexodl there, wind blows wrong way, and he gets tangled in the flag. Lol, says Hexodl. That'd be pretty funny. Mr. Cos as well. Good morning from Europe. Good to see you, Mr. Cosy. And of course, was it Supeem says StakeX. I like that. Woohoo! Hey, we got Wookie in the house as well. Hey, if you're excited about crypto, and of course you're looking for a free airdrop, then you're going to get everything copied over, doubled over. If you're holding any assets on Ethereum, we're going to talk about that in more detail. StakeX says, Superman, what are your thoughts on Matcha? Saw Johnny talking it up on Get Hex tonight. Yeah, I heard Johnny talking that up too. StakeX, he made some interesting comments there about bonded liquidity and things like that. And of course, Matcha getting big deals. I know Dave Feder was into it as well. PLSD and Wait as well, says Hexodl. Yep. We're going to talk about Pulsechain today, though, not Matcha. So we probably won't be talking much about that. Pulsechain says, I heard that from Dave Feder, Chainlink won't play the game of giving their copy available on Pulsechain, so I swapped it for PLSD and Hex. Nice one there, Pulsechain. Nice one. So yeah, we know that about Chainlink, but hey, this is the way it goes. Good, Crypto Maniac as well. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you, Crypto Maniac. And it's now nice in the house there. What's up? Good to see everybody. Now, obviously, our title here: how to double your crypto for free. How to double your crypto for free, and of course, that's pretty hard to do in crypto if you're not in the right communities. And of course, Pulsechain airdrop is going to be for everybody on Ethereum blockchain. So if you've got assets on Ethereum, they're getting copied over. That's your biggest airdrop ever. 300 million wallets over there and over 500,000 tokens / projects. It's going to be a pretty amazing thing. All the NFTs are coming too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're just staying tuned for the launch phase. So we're going to talk about the launch later on. So stay tuned for that. We're going to get into some interesting ideas about when the launch will actually happen. And of course, that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to hear from Richard Hart, of course, the founder of Pulsechain, and of course, the previous founder from Hex. And we're going to talk about that too, particularly if you are new. So really, this video is pitched at people that are relatively new to Pulsechain and Hex, of course. And of course, if you've been in Celsius, if you've been in Terra Luna, if you've been in other projects and got wrecked in there, or you had bad experience, then we've got open arms here at Pulsechain. Welcome to the future of crypto. It's going to be amazing. So let's get into it, folks. Pulsechain's goals is on pulsechain.com. Now, the links in the video description to Pulsechain and, of course, PulseX and Hex. Those are the topics we'll be talking about in the first half of the live stream. Second half of the live stream, we'll be jumping over to market prices and have a look at that, as we always do on this channel. Pulsechain goals, of course, increase Ethereum's value. And, of course, Ethereum fees will be lowered by sharing its load. Obviously, when Ethereum does get congested during more bullish times, then the cost of Ethereum goes up in terms of transferring swaps on Uniswap or something like that. Just transferring from one wallet to another, they all go up pretty amazingly. At the moment, we've got a little bit of a reprieve on the Ethereum blockchain, but of course, over the long period, and that just gets more congested. Now, the other big thing, of course, with Ethereum, it's got ETH 2.0 currently scheduled for the 19th September coming up as well. That's going to be a bit of fun, but that's not going to do much to do with the speed or the cost of Ethereum, just really moving from a hybrid proof of work, proof of stake to a full proof of stake system. That's pretty much what it's going to be doing. Now, the other thing, of course, is Pulsechain is going to enrich ETH users, and that's probably why you're here. You're probably watching this video and interested, how do I get this airdrop? Well, Pulsechain will re-enable priced out use cases if you're on Ethereum. So if you've got assets on Ethereum, if you've got some projects that aren't really operating that well, you're going to get the benefit of that. So it's going to be pretty cool. Pulsechain will enable priced out use cases. Instead of launching empty, Pulsechain brings the whole Ethereum system state and ERC20s. This rewards holders and founders of Ethereum-based projects. If you're holding a lot of assets on Ethereum, you will get rewarded for that. Now, one of the key things, of course, is that this is the first time ever that the full system state copy of Ethereum's ever happened. Largely, they've been copied, but they're largely empty. You know, Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, and Polygon and other chains like that. So this is the first time the whole full system state's getting copied. Why hasn't someone done this before? That's what Richard asked himself, and he sort of laughed and he said, "Well, I'm going to do it as well." So the other thing, of course, it's going to enrich ERC20 and NFT holders. So if you're using that over on Ethereum, the launch of Pulsechain is the largest airdrop in history, and that's crypto history for sure. This is a big thing. Like I said, over 500,000 ERC20 tokens getting copied over. 1155s getting copied, 721s, many other tokens as well going to be copied over, and that's going to be absolutely amazing. So all the project teams can come over to Pulsechain and thrive. It's going to be amazing to be there. Now, this is obviously going to be the new gold rush, contains the value discovery of thousands of tokens. So everything's going to start off at a zero value, but of course, it's going to get priced up by the market pretty quickly, and we know how that works in crypto, up and to the right, right? It's up and to the right, and of course, we're going to have a lot of fun with that. NFTs on Pulsechain too, so that's going to be a lot of fun also. Obviously, NFT is a massive market, so if you've got NFTs, they're getting copied over too. If you always wanted to be a whale in a certain ERC20 and NFT, maybe now you can be. Maybe you were too late for some other ones. The original coin on Ethereum, which is an ERC20 or something like that, but you'll be able to get in on the action early as the market prices it up over time as PRC20. So all ERC20s can be called PRC20s on the Pulsechain. Now, how do you get access to it? You're going, how do I get access to this when it does launch? So when Pulsechain does launch, it's going to be easy. You're just going to have to add the Pulsechain network to your wallet. If you're using a MetaMask, which is very popular, you're just going to have to add it to that. And of course, then you'll be able to switch over and see all of your ETH assets that you've got on Ethereum copied over to Pulsechain. That's how easy it's going to be. And of course, it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, let's quickly have a look at that, because we've currently got the testnet running for Pulsechain is already running. So this is the third testnet, been running for a long time now. And of course, this is the third testnet that we've had. And of course, this is testnet V2B, this public test network. Now, there is a private test network V3 running by the devs of the team that are developing the blockchain. That's running privately. But you can see that we're running 3-second block times, which are pretty amazing. 1.5 billion transactions so far and 18 billion blocks going on there. You can see 188 million wallet addresses. Of course, this is a block. This is old. This block that's been forked for the testnet. So the new block's going to have all those addresses all updated, all that sort of stuff when it does launch. Now, to get access, of course, to the Pulsechain, you need to go to your MetaMask wallet, for example. You need to go up to your right-hand side there with the circle. You need to go down, click settings, of course, when it does launch. Now, you can access the testnet now, which is testnet 2VB. And, of course, you have to go to networks there and just click add network. That's all you have to do. And in terms of Pulsechain, that's all you have to do. You just click add network, put all those details in here. And of course, away you go. The chain ID is 941 for the third testnet 2VB, and of course T-Pulse there with the Block Explorer as well. That Block Explorer will take you to the Block Explorer here, where you can just have a look at what's happening with the chain, but like a window into the blockchain there with the blocks and transactions ticking along at 3-second block intervals, which is around about 4 or 5 times faster than Ethereum, pretty much. With the ETH 2.0 coming up with the merge happening, it's going to be just slightly around that ballpark. And obviously, currently, further enhancements happening to the Pulsechain. They're going to really step that further, make it even better, perform even better. So it's lots of fun there. So that is how you do it. It's pretty easy to do, of course, to add the network there. And of course, all you have to do is switch over from the Ethereum network you just have to switch it over to the Pulsechain network, and there we are. You'll be able to see all your assets, as you can see in this wallet on the testnet there. That's how easy it's going to be. Man. And then the market's going to price it up from zero. Boy, is it going to be a fun time. All right, so that's pretty much how you do that. Easy to use with MetaMask, for example. There's going to be lower Pulsechain fees and serve more users. Pulsechain increases the throughput of Ethereum 4 times by using 3-second block times. Ethereum's average block time is around 13 seconds. Of course, we can go check that and confirm that. We can see the average block time here in Ethereum, and you can see it's around about 13 seconds here. So most time 13 seconds. You can see it's just ticking up. Sometimes it ticks up to 15, 16, but most of the time it's around 13 there. So it's actually a bit slower too when it gets to the 15 seconds. Of course, the Pulsechain is going to be 3-second block times. And of course, we can see that on the testnet, we're at 3-second block times. Now, when Pulsechain does launch, it's going to take probably a week or two to ramp up to that speed because Pulsechain is going to have full proof of staking. And of course, we're going to have around about 33 validators. They're going to confirm the blocks on the blockchain. And of course, they have to come on over a couple of days. They sort of start ramping up. They have to load the software and start ramping up. So we're going to see more and more validators get on to confirm the blockchain over maybe a week or two period there. So it'll take a few days to get up to 3-second speeds, but you can already see that the testnet's already up to that at the moment. So it's going to be pretty cool. We're also, obviously, the Pulsechain is going to replace the proof of work miner. So Pulsechain is going to launch straight away with proof of stake with the validators. And of course, that doesn't burn waste using high energy confirmations that proof of work does. So it's going to be really cool. Now, it's also going to improve game theory. Pulse will have zero inflation. So Pulsechains bring a whole ton of different economics to it. Obviously, Ethereum has a burn in there. But of course, that's going to end. They still have net inflation on the Ethereum blockchain for the main token, which is going to be Pulse. So ETH is the main token of Ethereum used for fees, but PLS or Pulse is going to be the main token on Pulsechain. And of course, that has zero inflation. So it's going to be amazing. Plus, validators only earn the fees, and 25% of all fees are burnt to reduce the circulating supply. So actually, Pulse will be a deflationary after that happens with the fee burning from all transactions. So, Pulse is going to be deflationary. Ethereum is still inflationary. So it's a very big deal. Now, the other thing, of course, is it's also going to empower Pulsechain holders. Pulsechain's native token, PLS, will be staked and delegated to validators that reward the delegators with the largest percentage of fees. So basically, if you're owning the native token Pulse or PLS, you'll be able to stake that with the validators who are confirming the blocks on the blockchain. And of course, you'll be able to get a slight reward. Now, that's going to be very low to begin with, but you're going to be that's going to go up over time as the value of Pulse goes up, and of course, as the blockchain gets full over time. Now, the other alternative, of course, is that with the native token Pulse, there'll be other platforms where you can earn returns on those. One of those is liquid loans. So that's kind of where we're at this stage. So it's pretty cool. We've got the blockchain, so we've got the testnet running already. So this is not just a concept of the first full system state copy, the biggest crypto airdrop in history. Of course, you're going to get a free airdrop if you've got assets on Ethereum. You do need to control the keys to your wallet, of course, and have them on Ethereum and one of those wallets there that you have on Ethereum. If you've got it on centralized exchanges, no good, because you just don't know whether the centralized exchange will honor those tokens. And I would say, based on past history, that's very unlikely. So you really need to keep your ear to the ground about when Pulsechain is going to launch, because you don't want your assets on the blockchain. You also don't want them on other third-party blockchains because they're not getting copied over. It's only Ethereum that's getting forked. But of course, Ethereum is the juggernaut number 2, and many think that it will eventually flip a Bitcoin. And of course, that's another story. So we'll move on. But pretty exciting. As you can see, we've got the testnet running. We've got also on GitLab, which is where the devs work here. We've got the public folders for the devs. And you can see that they've been doing updates to different folders that are supporting the public testnet at the moment. Now, moving on, of course, we've also got validators. We talked about that. Pulsechain is going to launch as a full proof of stake. And, of course, it's going to be up to 33 validators. You can currently see there's 535 on the network. I don't think we'll have near that many, actually, when it goes live. But we'll have some surplus of validators for sure. And, of course, to get in the top 33, people have to believe in you and you have to be performing well. And so you have to actually be, confirming the blocks appropriately. You don't want to get any penalties like misdemeanors or felonies, and of course get penalized with your revenue because people will unstake with you and you eventually get knocked down out of the 33. But in any case, it allows people to stake with them. You can see I've got an active stake here as well. And of course, earning some pulse there. Very small at the moment, but it grows over time. So it's pretty cool. Cool. Now, obviously, we're going to have the first full system stake copy of Ethereum, but most importantly to you that you're listening, it's going to be the biggest airdrop in crypto history. And of course, if you're after free Pulse and you've got stuff on Ethereum, you're going to get doubled over. So that's going to be amazing for you. It's going to have potentially the biggest. It's going to have proof of stake as well, so you're going to have different ways of earning passive income and much more. But not only is Richard Hart the founder of Hex, forking Ethereum as Pulsechain, but of course he's also going to be forking the Uniswap and Pancake front end for PulseX here. So we've got PulseX. That's going to be basically like Uniswap. You'll be able to do a DEX or decentralized exchange where you'll be able to swap assets, provide liquidity, and also yield farm as well. So massive passive income opportunities there. So PulseX is also going to have its own native token, PulseX, PLSX. And of course, it's also going to have an incentive token. So it's a dual token system on this DEX. And of course, this could very well be the first super DEX. It's also going to have a magical buy and burn. And of course, we've never seen this before in crypto with the super DEX coming in. So amazing tokenomics. We've got deflation for the main chain with Pulsechain. And of course, potentially the massive buy and burn on the PulseX DEX. And of course, this could rival the very best of centralized exchanges in terms of volume. $1 billion, for example, going through this exchange a day. And that could be 5,000 or 6,000 trading pairs. Could result in $700,000 of buy and burn a day. This is a game changer. The market's never. We always compare this to many other DEXs out there, like Pancake Swap, Sushi Swap, and things like that. But the market's never seen anything like this. And of course, this is going to have its own valuation, and potentially, I call it possibly the first super DEX out there. Could rival the value of the main chain, and of course, could also rival the values of the very top centralized exchanges, perhaps even over time. Binance itself. So let's see how that goes. But certainly exciting times. And of course, these deflationary tokenomics are massively important. So everything that's trading on there, doesn't matter what it is, it's trading on here. A little fee, 0.07% of a fee, will be going to buy and burn. It's amazing. So we're going to watch that. It's going to be incredible to see how the market reacts to that. So massive burning a year. All right, so let's jump forward into here. Of course, we've also got the fact that you say we've got the first system stake copy of Ethereum. We've got the biggest airdrop in crypto history, potentially the biggest yield farm in crypto history. It's probably going to have the biggest liquidity pools because we have an AMM bot that's going to be harvesting all the top DEXs and bring that volume into one place and locking that up. And of course, that's a bit like the first trade if you think about it. And then everyone else is going to be able to trade on the exchange. It's going to be amazing to see. People will be talking about Pulsechain and PulseX all over crypto, and it's going to be absolutely wonderful. So this is the biggest opportunity coming up for crypto. You think about everything else out there, there's nothing compared to this. And of course, with all those other projects that have fallen from grace, the Terra Lunas of the world, the Celsius, the Voyager, the BlockFi, exchanges stopping you withdrawing your coins. Welcome to decentralized land. Richard Hart is building out the ultimate vertical ecosystem. And of course, much more. He's also going to be doing, and currently under development, a wallet as well to replace MetaMask. So there's a lot of more coming here. And of course, the final leg is a fiat on-ramp and off-ramp. But there are other players in the space also working on that around the Pulsechain ecosystem. So it's going to be fun to see that. So exciting there, folks. And of course, how do you get to the final leg? So we've got the first system stake copy of Ethereum, the biggest potential airdrop, the biggest airdrop in crypto history. Potentially the biggest yield farming in crypto history, deflationary tokenomics, and of course, what's the last one? The fastest way to mass adoption. You build it, but the people have got to come, right? The people have got to come. How do you do that? You build an official bridge, and what we got here, the Pulsechain bridge here, of course, people will be able to come on. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. The fastest way to mass adoption. As I said, 300 million wallets all getting copied over to Pulsechain from Ethereum. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And of course, we have about 1 million or so active wallets, gets up even higher, 2 million, 3 million during bull markets on Ethereum. That's all coming over to potentially activity coming over to Pulsechain and PulseX. Can you see how big this is going to be? People in crypto, they follow the incentives. Some people say, why would you send your stable coins over? But people do it because the incentives are there. And of course, they're getting their free copy. The market will price things up. It becomes inevitable and it feeds on itself. And it's going to be a wonderful experience for sure. So very exciting. So that's all coming up. And with the buy and burn, And of course, what happened at the beginning. So we've had two different type of form of races. So Richard Hart has changed the game. He's created what he's done is he's created a sacrifice process. It's kind of a form of a capital raise with no expectations. Obviously, it's not avoids being a security under the Howey test. And of course, pretty amazing. So Pulsechain had in July last year, all the way through the 4th of April this year, had a sacrifice phase, and $670 million was raised for that. Pretty amazing stuff there. And of course, that was probably about 42,000 wallets or so that were participated in that. So Pulse itself, all the inflation is up front. And of course, with the 25% burn fee, it gets burned over time. So imagine a balloon with a burn fee, and it's just slowly emptying of air, and the balloon gets smaller and smaller. So underlying over a longer period of term, the longer period of time, the actual pulse will go up in value just by that itself, that one mechanism. So pretty amazing. Now, obviously, the other thing, we also had a sacrifice for the fork of Uniswap, and of course, that was even higher, ranging from about $975 million up to $1 billion here. So this is probably closer to the truth, probably closer to 1.1 billion all told, because it doesn't include all the blockchains, and that's pretty amazing. So if you add up PulseX and the Pulse in terms of the sacrifice phases that were run, we have no expectations from the work of others, then you're probably looking, about probably about 1.8 billion dollars of a capital raised through that way, obviously with no expectations under the Howey test. But of course, you do get the chance of getting Pulse and PulseX as a thanks for that sort of thing. So looking forward to that. So that's going to make both the native tokens on Pulse and PulseX relatively scarce. And of course, everybody's going to be after those because they're going to need them, firstly, to operate, but also to speculate on, I guess. So cool. Those are coming up, folks. So that's pretty awesome. And of course, we've had those. They're very exciting, and they pretty much PulseX ran through from January, February through the 4th of April. The Pulse one ran through from the 15th of July through to about 4th of April this year. They both ended fairly similar times, and of course, we pretty much know what those points are now. So that's pretty cool for those who participated, and for those that didn't, they will be after these tokens, so they're going to be under quite a bit of demand. Now, obviously, we also want to know who's actually set this up. Of course, we've talked about Pulsechain, talked about PulseX, we've talked about the bridge and staking with validators, all that good stuff. But of course, Richard Hart, one of the most well-known people in crypto, probably the top gaming genius in crypto, without a doubt. I think if you compare him to all the leading founders, he's head and shoulders above. And of course, he is Richard Hart is a force for good in this world. This is pretty much his website, richardhart.com. He really is trying to change lives. He's done a lot of stuff. He's written sci-fi help books to help people. He's helped raise through the Pulsechain sacrifice $27 million for the SENS Foundation and Long Life Research. And he's done a lot more than that. So pretty impressive. He's also built, obviously, Hex.com, which has been running for almost heading up towards 1,000 days. And of course, has changed a lot of lives and made a lot of people very wealthy as well during that time. And of course, is set to be a long life super deposit on the blockchain. So it's a pretty big deal. Now, obviously, you can find all of Richard's latest stuff on Twitter there. Richard Hart is Richard Hart Win on Twitter is his name there. And of course, you can see all his latest and greatest stuff on Twitter there if you want to follow him. I always suggest you follow Richard Hart on the official channels because there's a lot of scammers in crypto. And of course, Pulsechain and Hex are big targets as they're going to be pretty much the biggest thing going forward. And of course, you must do your own investment due diligence. Nothing on this video is investment advice. You must always, do that. So that's pretty cool. And of course, Hex.com, they're incredible. Stands alone, heads and shoulders above everybody else with the yield that people can earn. So 38% on an average stake length of 6.5 years. So when we say stake, it's a bit like just a term deposit, but it's a little different because your investment gets burned and then it gets reissued to you later in the future as you mint your own tokens. So it's pretty cool. Now, how do people get paid such a high return? Well, basically, the inflation rate. The inflation rate is up to 3.69%, but its actually effective inflation rate is much lower. And of course, because of certain mechanisms in the Hex contract. But the reality is only 9.5% approximately of people are staked. So that's why the return is so high. in addition to the return, of course, of inflation that you get, and you also get some of the penalties, 50% of the penalties that people you get when people don't keep their stake and they end them early. You get 50% of those too. So you really get a great reward, and it's really just because only 9.5% of all the Hex in supply is actually staked. Now, that's pretty powerful, and of course, depending on longer pays better, so the longer you stake, the better you get. And so obviously, it's been super successful, pretty much was the best performing crypto for about 18 months during the bull market, and of course, it has a long life ahead of it yet. So if you've ever seen any other videos on this channel around Hex, you can check those out as well. We talk about the fundamentals going forward on multiple times, so pretty exciting. So obviously Richard's got a huge profile, a crypto billionaire, and of course has a successful project, so he can show that he can substantiate the delivery of these projects as well. So very exciting. Now Hex itself, of course, is performed, as I said, very well, and you can see on this charts here how well it's performed against ETH and BTC. Down here, here's ETH and BTC. Here's Hex, and of course here's Amazon, some of the stock markets gems as well. And of course, Hex shines, others fail. You can pretty much see that. So all these other projects, which all said they were going to be good, Voyager, Celsius, they all failed, collapsed. These were projects that criticized Hex, but Hex continues on, and while others fail. So it's pretty awesome. So that's some of the cool stuff. Every Hex outperforming. So you can see if Hex is doing so well, how great Pulsechain is going to be on the, and especially once it launches, and of course PulseX, of course. The exchange, how well that's going to do. And of course, Richard Hart is building a vertical integration. We're going to have Pulsechain, PulseX. We're going to have Hex, of course, and a MetaMask wallet, and of course, a fiat on-ramp, off-ramp. And of course, that is the ultimate vertical integration and takeover of crypto. And of course, you can be a part of it. And that's the exciting part. And if you've got assets on Ethereum, you'll be part of the biggest airdrop in crypto history. That's pretty amazing. Once again, check out all the links in the video description because it's a great way of getting more knowledge. But it's very exciting. You don't have to do anything, by the way. If your assets on Ethereum, then you have to do nothing. They're just going to get, you're going to airdrop them regardless of what you do, and you can participate or not. So pretty exciting. So that's pretty much it. A wrap up of the Pulsechain. I think it's pretty exciting. Hope you guys have learned something there, and of course spread the word about the biggest airdrop in crypto coming up. Now we're going to have a quick look about the timing. So when's all this happening? When is all this happening? That's what we're going to look at, and so let's get into that. We're going to have a quick look at the latest update from Richard Hart about the Pulsechain timing here.
Asking that.
Yeah, well, Pulsechain is the world's largest free airdrop. We're going to reduce Ethereum's fees by basically doubling their capacity or more. We fork the Ethereum system state so that all of your coins get copied on the new chain for free. You can go play with those coins now if you want. Go to pulsechain.com, go use the testnet. You can go trade those coins for fun right now on the testnet. And we're just waiting for the devs to, improve a few things, higher throughput, more security, and then we can go to mainnet. It's just software's hard, right? If you want truly secure software with perfect flawless operation, it takes a while to get it right, and Hex took a long time to get right. And that's the reason Pulsechain, we've been at it for over a year now. Probably longer. We've probably been at it for about a year and a half. And we're close, man. We're so close. If my devs were dumber, we would have already launched. But because my devs are so good, it takes longer because they catch all the things. They're like, hey, this, that. You're like, yeah. So it's to be miraculous because it can reduce the gas fees, which are too high. It can give us higher throughput. It can save the environment.
Yeah.
And it's got better tokenomics. It burns the coins. So 25% of the fees are just burned. And top of VIP 1559 as well, which also does burning. So I'd have to estimate how much extra burning that'll do. And so we've got PulseX, which is our fork of Uniswap, which does fee burning, no inflation, only deflation. We've got Pulsechain, which has deflation only and fee burning in protocol. It's really awesome. Like, we're going to soon have vertical integration. We're going to have Pulsechain consensus network, PulseX trading, Hex value storage. We've got a wallet being built now as a MetaMask replacement. That's nearly complete vertical integration. The only thing that's missing is fiat on-ramps and off-ramps. That's it. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
So there you are. You heard from Richard Hart, the founder himself. Of course, recently been on Fox Business News and, of course, Kitco News. There he is on Kitco News. And, of course, you can see that it's getting closer and closer all the time. And software is difficult. And, of course, they're working on amazing improvements to performance But of course, the biggest crypto airdrop in history is coming. So that's pretty much a wrap up of this presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And we're going to get into the second part of our live stream, which is looking at the market prices in the Hex ecosystem and much, much more. So stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, we're going to play a bit of a fun video on this one at the end with Pulsechain. So you can stay tuned for that at the end of the live stream. So cool. Let's get into it and first get back into the chat. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to get in and see who else is in the house here. And we're going to move forward from that. We're going to jump through into the market prices. Here we go. We're moving pretty maliciously here. Here we go on this one. Bam, bam. And here we are. We're with the market prices at the moment. This is the one-day crypto markets. Let's get into the chat and welcome everyone else that's come in. Let us go and find out where I was. I think we're up to a certain phase. I think I was right at the top here. There's been quite a few comments, so I'm going to have to jump through a lot of these. Let us go through here. I think we're up to Hex Hodl. First super chats was great for Gen Hex. Yeah, big shout out to Gen Hex and Craig. And it's now. And previously, High and Crypto had been on there too. As I guess founding from that channel. I guess it's Craig's channel, but pretty well done, getting over 1,000 subscribers. A big shout out to him, spreading the good word about Pulsechain, PulseX and Hex, and of course many other topics that we don't cover on this channel. So a big shout out to them and a big congratulations. I think there's tons. There's probably maybe 70 channels or something under 1,000 that are working their way up into the sort of the middle of the pack there. So big shout out to all of them. So if you haven't subscribed to some of the smaller channels, go give them a help out. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Lots of guests. Here's James Bond. Yeah, they had tons of guests on that one. It was a great party for sure. Hex Hodl agreed. Some show. So it's now. emceeing it all. Nice job, brother. Yes, now is a legend. And we appreciate everything Brian does. Thank you for all the thank you all in the community for learning a lot, says Tony Starr. No, you're welcome. That's a cool thing also about Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex is that the vast majority of people in the community are wanting to help other people, right? They're wanting to help other people, and they want people to do well, and that's a cool thing. We're always looking out for each other with safety and things like that. So it really is cool to be part of this community. And there's always parts of the community, of course, you always get some drama parts, but on the whole, the community is always looking out for other people, which is a cool thing. Especially on this channel. This channel, we are a family channel. We are no drama channel, and we try to stick to just the crypto and a few other things. Entertainment is sometimes as well. G'day, Hex Token Fantasies. Get Hex, good to see you. We got Toxic Hedgehog in house there. It's like a Gen Hex stream in here. Everyone has a spanner. Where's mine? And of course, there's good reasons for that. TikTok Hedgehog. Cryptomaniac Gen Hex doubled the wrenches of Hex Token channels, says Cryptomaniac. That's pretty funny. Gen Hex reminds me of Vince Neil before he was a drunk, overweight mess. I thought I'd point that out, says Steak Hex. I'm sure he'd find that funny. Kate Figure says, hey, Superman, all I love, just watched another good movie tonight called The Outfit. Nice one, Kate Figure. Kate Figure, you're on a bit of a movie call. Man, myself, I used to do that too. And maybe I'll watch some sci-fi tonight. Stevie D's in house. G'day, guys. Good to see Stevie D. Brenda's in there. Hi, folks. Just finished putting new LED down lights in my house. Nice one. Miles in crypto. What's up, homies? Good to see you, Miles. Hope everyone is doing well. Such nice sentiments, that's for sure. Nice to see the Hex family. Hex finally go over 5 cent mark. I have 2 weeks to end an end stake, so hopefully it will pump a little higher before I do. Nice one there, Kate. And we'll restake the principal regardless. Change is always good as an house. Thank you, Hex Token, for all the work knowledgeable you provide. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate those comments, and thank you very much. Walter Alexander, Pulsechain or PulseX, which is capable of doing a 10,000x first. Well, I think PulseX is designed better for pumper metals. We've never seen anything quite like it, but it's going to be very hard to beat the chain straight out of the gate. There's a 3-to-1 ratio to original sacrifice wallets. And I still think there's quite a few pump mentals that are going to be, we've talked about this many times. I actually probably cover that in another video, Walter, because there's a lot more factors to take into account. But I definitely think it's PulseX is going to do things that we haven't seen any other DEX do. And it may end up being a super DEX in terms of challenging Pulsechain and maybe even the centralized exchange volumes as well. So that's a big topic. So we'll probably just leave it there for that one. The future is bright, says Rocket Mob. Is bright as well. Hey, Crypto Maniac in the house with the 55.55. We always love the 5555s. Big shout out to Crypto Maniac. This super chat was sponsored by HexTrack.app. I hit Gen Hex with the 555 earlier. Had to hit the OG with it as well. I enjoy the streams as always. I appreciate that. So anyway, HexTrack.app. Check it out today with Crypto Maniac. I got to do the old Superman bow down, of course, to honor those who show me some love out there. So a pretty big shout out for that. Do appreciate it big time. And yeah, check out hextrack.app, everybody. Tony Starr, same on the Pulse as well. PulseX, as I didn't sack for Pulse. Let me just take a little snapshot. I'm going to take a snapshot just a moment. Let me take a little snapshot here. Bam. All right, boom. I'm going to do something with that. Let's come back to that one. Crypto Maniac, thank you so much. Tony Starr, same on the PulseX as I didn't sacrifice for Pulse. 52 future millionaires in the chat, says Walter. Yeah, so I did a video, if you want to check it out on this channel, on PulseX. I illustrated that if no one sold their PulseX in the top ones that had over 100 million PulseX, there would be 11,000 millionaires on that one. Now, I've still been meaning to do a Pulsechain one. In fact, I'm going to do it. I just have to do some manipulation with the spreadsheet, but I'll do that. And of course, 11,000 millionaires if no one sold. How cool is that? And on PulseX, the buy and burn, they don't have to sell. The buy and burn just keeps pushing the price up. So they just have to let every other asset trade on the PulseX, and of course, it's going to push up that token. It's pretty amazing as well. Richard is very clever in terms of pushing value into his tokens. Now, in addition to that, of course, is the liquidity pool linking as well. And that is another fundamental that could create some pretty havoc stuff there now as well. So we're looking forward to that. Hex is likely to have the biggest liquidity pool. That's going to be pretty powerful. And of course, linking up ETH and PHEX together is going to be a lot of fun too. It's going to create some interesting plays there and interactions with PulseX and Pulse as well. And it's now says, if you are restaking to catch the double, price doesn't matter yet, but I hear you, says it now. Yeah, true that. Hey, Walter says, I love the Hex community. I barely bought Hex during this bear market at 6 cents. I'll continue to buy hashtag Hex Token. Yeah, nice one. All right, so we've got BTC at 23,741. We've got ETH at 1,700 and BNB at 293. And of course, that's pretty good on the daily. We're going to have a look at the 7 days, over the last 7 days. Nice little reversal there. Look at that. Over the last week, Bitcoin up 5.6%, ETH up 9%, and BNB up actually 13%, which is pretty nice. On the last month, of course, and I'm pointing this out because we had a couple of rough months there with BTC pulling down pretty dramatically, at least twice as well. And of course, BTC up 20% on month. And of course, Ethereum up a massive 60% there, and BNB up 34%. So one could argue BNB could have a bit more to run there. That's pretty much it. Let's jump over to the Hex price. Bam! I know you guys wanted it. It's here, and that's the Hex price. I like it too. That's why I have it up all day. I have the charts up all day. I know many of you do too. Some of you have multiple screens, and you got those set up. And of course, there we are. So we've got Hex at 5.22 cents at the moment. A little bit of profit taking at the stage. We expected that after a big run. But of course, it's still moving up pretty strongly. Today, we had a big wick up to 5.7 cents. Can you believe it? I think this is the US dollar 1% pull, but it went up to 5.7 cents. And of course, the Bollinger Bands here. Look at this, just spreading out like a flower, really. Pretty impressive. We've got the Bollinger Bands, the bottom of that at 3.2 cents. Let me get rid of that big comment that I got there. 3.2 cents. And the top at 5.16 cents. Can you believe it? We've finally got a top of the Bollinger Band over 5 cents. Isn't that cool? Almost 5.2 cents. That's awesome. And of course, the 50% mark there is 4.2 cents. That's crazy good. And the EMA, which is our signal of a trend reversal, and boy, has it played out pretty timely here, especially with the closing Bollinger Bands. That is currently at 4.5, almost 4.6 cents on the yellow. And of course, we had our crossover. This is a very strong signal for a trend reversal. Very rarely fails. It failed back here, but that was because of the dramatic pull down and the conditions at the time. But we did have a pretty nice run up leading into it. But here, this is a classic formation here, and it's played out perfectly textbook. Nice one there. And of course, we're having a look down at the DMI as well. The buyers in control, the sellers not there anymore. And of course, we've got the RSI moving up here to 66. And of course, we've still got room to move here into overbought territory. So we were watching that too. So we've still got a bit of room. Just taking a little breather on a couple of hours, but we've still got plenty of time for the rise up there. We do have a bit of a crossover here in the stochastic RSI. Remember, stochastic basically means it kind of takes into more contemporary prices, but like a little bit like exponential, but a bit different, obviously, mathematically. But that's coming in here too. And of course, we could see a crossover here. This typically might signal a pull down, but we might get a pull down and then a rise up. We might get another one of these formations here. So we are still looking pretty good overall. We could get another dip and then up and then maybe down is what we might see. That's kind of where I feel at the moment. But guys know I've said this earlier in the first live stream. I want to get up to 6.2, 6.3 cents. I think that's pretty important for the chart rather than having a double top here. 1, 2, and of course we do have a bit of room here to move and everything's going in the right direction. So cross the fingers for that one so far. So this is leading in, of course, to August, and of course we're looking for major product launches with Maximus and Icosa in August sometime. We don't know the exact date, but everything is moving forward quite at a good pace that we may very well get the launches of those, and that sets up this price going high here. Getting a higher high as well would be cool. Would set up Hex very well for a massive rise up in price there, particularly if we get some decent amount of buying on the market, not just taking circling supply of Hex out of the market for longer term price appreciation, but short term price appreciation with some percentage of that going to buy market. I don't know. What are we going to get? 45 million, 65 million, 75 million? Would be about 10% of what we might get if we do sell out all those Maximus products and get some good stuff in the HSI. Don't know. We're going to find out. But either way, it's generally bullish regardless of that, either now or in the future. So looking good. So pretty optimistic about Hex and going into August there. Now, obviously, we just pulled back there a little bit against BTC at the moment, just with that little pullback of price. But we're still at 215,000 here on the Hex versus BTC. And of course, bullish over the 50 EMA there, moving average. So looking good, generally speaking. And of course, we might want to try and attack this. We get a nice bit of a price rise in Hex, attack this 100 moving average as well, up here at 263,000. We're currently at 215. Kind of gives you an idea there. Here is our quad charts. Look, we're getting this little zigzag here on the Hex hourly. This is the hourly chart now. So the other one was the daily. This is the same pool. So I've made sure they're both the same pool. Had them on a different pool before. I think it was a 3% pool, fee pool there. And so we're zigzagging up here, looking pretty good. Yeah, looks like we're going to hopefully zigzag, continue up. I'd be very bullish if we could get to 6.2 cents. Now, I think I said earlier that would take us about $800,000 or somewhere in that ballpark to get there. So we still need more buying than selling. But if we can just slowly staircase our way up, that's really, really good for us. Now, the other thing, of course, is Hedron. Hedron at 993 there. It's up here for the third time. 1, 2, 3. Third time lucky. I guess I'm ignoring this little one here, but third time lucky here. We're at 993 here to get formation. Of course, Icosa is coming. And I think actually Icosa looks pretty attractive. Remember, there are 4 big features to Icosa. There is the staking Hedron. There is a staking Icosa. There is selling HSI stakes that require Hex, bullish for Hex. And of course, number 4, there will be OSA. And that's going to be pretty fascinating to see those 4 functions run. And of course, they're going to bring deflation and staking to Hedron. But they're also going to be buying demand and remove liquidity from Hex out of the market with HSI stakes being sold to the Icosa contract. And they may very well end up, if they're resold in the auctions after liquidations, in holders of other Hexkins or so forth. So it's going to be pretty fascinating. Obviously, you want to get some support and break this 1,000 mark, but that's looking good for me, in my view, at the moment. So cool. We do have higher lows here, but of course, this is where we're at the stage where we need to, smash past that. But I'm pretty optimistic about that. Let's get into Maxi as well. Maximus, of course, is the other one. Maximus products with the perpetuals, the base, the trio, the lucky, and the decky, 1, 3, 7, and 10 years. And of course, the big deal there is about getting the bigger pays better bonus. They won't have the 4x Hedron bonus in them, unlike the Maximus. So there will be a discount relative to that, but they do have a short-term option premium in terms of their shorter time frame, in terms of actual realized market value. So people can redeem those tokens a year on year or every 3 years, depending on the cycle there. But they get Hex, bullish for Hex, and cool for the people that take those up. So we're going to see how the market prices that. Obviously, there's a 90% premium of Maxi here at the moment. The other thing, of course, is that they're going to have the team token. Team token is going to require Maxi, and that's going to eat up some of the Maxi supply. 294.3 million Maxi. How much of that will go into the team token? Team is a one-off token, pretty much the one-off DAO token for the Maximus product range. And of course, we probably expect to see some more product ranges after these perpetuals in the future. And they may not be related directly to Hex staking. They may end up being in a different type of DApp that does something else. Of course, anything's possible with this Maximus team. They really are creative here. They are wringing out just about every goodness you can possibly think out of the underlying Hex contract. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And of course, with all these tokens, the base, the trio, the lucky, the decky, and the maxi, you've got a beautiful staking ladder there of pooled stakes, and the first four, of course, perpetual ones. It's going to be fascinating as well. And obviously, there's the future as well, future product development as well. And of course, we're going to have 50% of the bigger pays better bonuses from these perpetuals going into the team token. And of course, they're also going to get the 369 maxi going in there as well. Also includes a 30% burn. So it's going to be fun to watch all those play out. So very exciting. Yeah, very cool for the Hex ecosystem charts. We're going to quickly look at the BNBs and have a look at those. So we've got Pulse Dodge there. It is moving up a little bit today, heading up towards 0.4 of a penny. So we are getting a bit of traction there with the original Pulse Dodge coin on BNB chain. P33 still struggling under 10 cents now. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. And of course, their ecosystem, while it's very innovative and they've got all these cool things, is not integrated. It's not an ecosystem that's working together. So we're going to see how they handle that, whether they do or not at all. It's an open question, but we will find out over time. The other thing is the IM here is also been making a bit of a recovery and just a little bit of profit taking at the moment, but it's at 12.77, looking pretty good actually in this chart, I think, and it's building itself up, boom, 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 and it's already had its 90% burn. So cool. It's doing the right thing, heading in the right direction. Next target, of course, probably next target would be somewhere in this ballpark of 2,000. It's currently at 1,200 here, and it's got as high as 1,500 there. So 2,000, probably the next step up, as it were. So we'll keep watching out for that. Cool. Finally, the airdrops. Woohoo! We always love airdrops. Obviously, if you're new to Pulsechain and Hex and things like that, we get so many airdrops into this community. It really is a cool part of your yield if you think about it. No expectations, but it is a pretty cool part here. And of course, the latest one here is the weight token. This is a little bit different too. This is based on sacrifices, the sacrifice process. We've had 8 projects that you qualify for this. And of course, the longer you wait until Pulsechain launches, the more weight tokens you'll get. So that's pretty exciting. That's currently at over 0.6 of a penny. It's been as high as just over 0.7 of a penny today. Nice little bounce back here on the old weight token, but it's early days for that one. Ultimately, Pulse Dodge coin, we've been talking about that all day long. And of course, look at this, $5.96. The plane is vertical. Of course, we have Gunther, aka Wolverine, or Wolverine, aka Gunther, whatever you want to talk about, going vertical. This plane used to be like this or like this. This plane is like, it's pretty seriously, I guess we'll leave it like that. It's kind of like that at the moment. Look at that angle of increase there. Now, is this going to peter out? That's the question you ask. Of course, the actual staking and deflation has not been announced yet. We have had the secondary token announced, but we haven't had anything around the staking. So what we're going to see with this chart is going to be crazy times. We're going to see some incredible verticals on this. Are we going to see this climb up into these dollars here? Go 10, 15, $20. Are we going to get a 6x, a 3x from here would be $18, 24x, 4x from here. Are we going to see some pretty crazy stuff like that with the staking? How much people are going to stake? They're going to get a secondary token, which means they don't have to sell the primary token, I guess. That's the right tokenomics. And of course, the founder's talking about mass adoption, not only for the Pulse Dodge, but for Hex as well, helping with that. So pretty bullish. Welcome to the ultimate crypto ecosystem. All these satellite projects sitting around, and of course, airdropping to Hexicans here who have staked Hex, which is just one of the many benefits. Now, Hex has had, I don't know, 8, 9 airdrops, something like that. It's pretty crazy the number of airdrops that Hexagons have had if you've been since the beginning. So pretty cool. It's looking pretty nice there. We'll be watching this pretty closely. Now, it could get a bit overheated. So let's have a look at our indicators. We're going to bring up our RSI here and see how if the market's overheating a little bit here. It is in overbought market mode, but it's still early days. Could stay up here for a little while, right? So we'll see how that goes. I suspect it's still going to have quite a bit of oomph in it, even being in just entering the overbought territory. But I still feel it's got a lot to go here. We don't have that big news coming out. And, of course, what happens when it does launch, how many people will actually stake in there. And, of course, that's going to be interesting as well. I think a lot of people that are in there, maybe a bit like Maximus, maybe they'll have diamond hands. Maybe they'll realize, actually, it's in my I trust the culture of this ecosystem. Maybe I'll hold on. Obviously, once again, speculation. This is only good. The only big risk I see, it's got scarcity. It's got a whale syndicate. It's going to have lots of options with staking deflation. It's going to have potential onboarding and marketing and yield farming opportunities, things like that. But it is only as good as the weakest whales, as we say, or a run on the bank by all the retail book. So we'll see how we get on. So far, so good at the moment. And of course, it does look pretty exciting, but obviously not investment advice. We will see where it heads up at the end. All right, cool. That is pretty much it on the charts. Woohoo! Hope you guys enjoyed that. We're 52 minutes. We actually beastie boyed this one big time. So cool. All right. So, all right, let's get back in the chat. I can't remember where I was at the moment. Once again, let us find out. Get Hex. I was up to Get Hex. I know that. Welcome to the new Hex token members. Absolutely. We've got Discord running, by the way, heading up towards 600 members. If you haven't joined, definitely join. It's really cool. We have a great community. So we have two premises of the Hex token YouTube. It is syndicated with Gen Hex and with Heinz Crypto, 3 YouTube channels there. And of course, we're heading up towards 600 members. Now, if you like good information, good community, this is the place to be. We are spreading the word about Pulsechain and Hex onto the Discord as well. A bit underloved there. Obviously, there's big groups on Telegram, Twitter, and other places. And of course, it's great to be on here. So obviously, we've got useful links here. Everything you would like to know about Hex and Pulsechain is all in here. These are all the best links, really. You can definitely check that out. There's lots more links, but these are very much the vast majority of the good ones. There's also video tutorials on how to use Pulsechain and the PulseX as well. In addition to that, there is a Richard Hart chat there if you want to talk about Richard Hart tokens, Pulsechain, PulseX, Hex, the incentive token, and of course, maybe derivatives as well. We've got the price chat there for talking about market prices. We've got promotion tools if you want to spread the good word about Pulsechain and Hex. And of course, there's non-crypto chat if you like to talk about anything else. On top of that, there's a second group here for new tokens and airdrops. So you can talk about all that sort of stuff in there, as well as a new tokens list with everything you possibly want. Pulse Police, Pulse Coin voting site, Pulsechain news, Pulse hot list, evaluating projects, Hex Pulse sacrifices for projects that are running sacrifices, and of course, many of the popular projects there as well. And I also did a video early on the top 25 passive income projects. Of course, we love earning passive income, and we can't wait for Pulsechain to launch for that. So very exciting. So get into that. If you're a Hex Token channel member, of course, you've hit the join button. You become a Pulsechain, Hexagon, or a Richard Hart Club member. You're supporting us on this channel as we do 2 live streams a day on Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex. Then you also will get a special membership there, channel there for Hex Token channel members. And, of course, a purple name for Hex Token channel members on YouTube, standard members in blue. So it's a bit of a rundown for our Discord as we head up towards the 600 members. Pretty exciting, really. Pretty exciting. And of course, you can see many of the moderators in here. We've got Craig Wedding, Heinz Crypto, it's now Brian, Fat Sammy, and of course, Sandy Beach, who's pretty famous in the community as well. Did I say famous? Famous. When am I famous? Something like that. But that's pretty much how it works. All right, cool. Let us get back to the chats there. I don't know if Richard's been doing anything at the moment. We'll just quickly check Richard. What he's been up to. No, nothing new that I can see there. The other thing, of course, Rack and Michelle, one of our big billionaire venture capitalists, building a lot of stuff on Pulsechain. He's doing an exchange, a crypto stock exchange. He's doing a coin listing site. He's doing some sort of fiat on-ramp thing. We're not quite sure the extent of that, but it looks like it's maybe going through the exchange. Also, government level security for people, which is pretty cool as well. This is one of his cars, which he drives around a lot. It's pretty nice. Pretty sleek little Lamborghini. one word for this model, brutal. So it's pretty cool. Predictions. This is predictions from our Hexicans. Where are we heading today, price actions wise? And of course, he's always putting out stuff like that. So pretty exciting there. Didn't actually read this tweet out, but he says, Patrick, Grant, and Miss Caitlin of the Highest Stakes crew, thank you and honoring working with you on this documentary. Pretty cool. I think that's pretty nice of them to do that. Now, the other thing, of course, is that Pulsechain, we talk about Pulsechain, but Pulsechain is having a massive premium conference coming up and exhibition. And this is not very far away. It's the last day to get cheap tickets before the price goes up on the 1st of August. So that's pretty impressive. And, of course, you can see that's going to be in Las Vegas, up to 3,000 people. Richard Hart's going to be a headline speaker, as well as Foster Gamble, George Wentz, Mitch Lowe, and Rodney Tout there as well. So it's going to be pretty awesome. Lots of projects are going to be there that are on Pulsechain. Pulsechain already probably has, just off the cuff there, probably around about 130 native projects, as well as all the projects getting copied over. Some of those will be supporting on Pulsechain. Some of them won't be straight away. Some of them have announced that they're not, but many others will come over when they see the chain up and running and thriving. Otherwise, they'll miss out on the opportunity, right? So that's the way it goes. Markets drive behavior, and that's what we're looking forward to. 37 days here and 9 hours to go. That's the way it goes for Pulse Conference. Going to be launching. Looks amazing. Just looking at the website, it's amazing. These are the tickets at the moment. Silver $6.25, gold $10.25, platinum $18.25, and the VIP at $5.555. This probably won't change in price. Probably just these three that will change. But there is a 15% discount in the website as well. There's going to be all these cool panels: Founders Panel, NFTs Panel. They've got the Freedom Panel as well. In fact, is that someone new there? Teddy Campos. Yeah, Teddy Campos. Oh, yeah, okay, that's someone new on there. And of course, we're going to have lots of other people here. What's this one here? We've got a Freedom Panel there. Many people there. Cool. And a Development Panel as well. So that's pretty cool. Going to be some cool music and entertainment here with Ernie Singleton and Danny Hamilton. And nice agenda there as well. Just scrolling through here. Affiliates, of course, you can get a discount, 50% discount through any of these affiliates. We've got official pulsification, community, Hex community jobs, many others in here that you can get use their discount. But there is a 15% discount off those ticket prices above if you use this one on the website. Pretty cool. So that's PulseCon. I'm going to post it in the chat there. It is counting down, man. It's almost down to a month on that thing. Pretty crazy if you ask me. Pretty crazy for sure. All right, let us scroll right to the top. And let's leave it on there just for a minute or two while we go through some of the comments. Check that out. Kate Ferguson, I've been staking since 2019 for 15 years, but I am having staking in each and every month. So when staked ends, I usually restake the principal, cash out the interest, but current prices, yeah. Quite a few people do that. That's what Hex is designed for. It's you take your T-shares, do staking ladders. That's the way to go. Very nice. Rocket Mob says we're really on the cutting edge of crypto. It's truly amazing. We are, and you can see that happening day after day after day, gaining more momentum all the time. The future is so exciting to all of us. If you've held your Hex from the beginning, let alone hodling, Pulse, etc., totally wild, absolutely. Healing, helping, loving is this love. Is love. I have some form, that's for sure, and love, that's for sure. Where to buy Pulsechain? Now, Pulse is not available yet. You have to wait till Pulsechain launches, and then you'll be able to buy on PulseX, as I showed earlier. You'll be able to buy it there. I missed the BitConnect days. He said, I don't know if you missed the BitConnect days. I think you're trolling a little bit there, to be honest. That one there. So I wouldn't be talking about BitConnect. That was the biggest scam ever. What else we got going there? We've got Andrew Reynolds. Happy weekend, everybody. Just chilling in Sydney, literally. Nice one there, Andrew. And I hope you're having a good time there. I hope you got a nice little cool drink on the side there. That'd be cool. Let's jump back to the markets, and we're going to put on the Hex ecosystem charts. And we'll jump into some of the others every so often. Let's pull that up here. So that is our three main charts in the Hex ecosystem. We're going to have, can you believe it? We're going to have 5, 6 more of these. Can you believe it? Maybe more on this page here. And Pulsechain's not even have launched yet. Because we're going to have the Maximus launch, the base, the trio, the Lucky and the Dicky, and of course the Decimus, I should say. And I think it's a short term. But then we're also going to have the team tokens. That's 5 more charts to look at. Is that insane? And of course, that's just obviously there's more peers, but that's just the basic tokens. And then we're going to have the ICOSA as well, and potentially we could be looking at some NFTs as well. which are entering the ecosystem. Obviously, we've got HSI NFTs, but we are all SA NFTs. So NFTs are trickling into the DeFi side of the Hex ecosystem. So it's going to be pretty fun as well. So we're going to have so many charts, and this is before Pulsechain launches. Obviously, when Pulsechain launches, we're going to have PulseX, and the incentive token. It's going to be a right hoot, as we say, a right hoot. I'm so excited for it. Rocket Mob with the thumbs up. The Pulse Play says, and how are they testing in a private group with our validators? They'll be running their own validators, probably a couple of validators, Pulse Players. The way they run 3 of them, they set those up. So they may be running more than 3 on that to make it operate. They don't need to run it at 3-second blocks. So they just have to test that everything's working well. Craig Zoomback says, one question I have is, how does the pre-bridge trade work? Pre-bridge, is that done on PulseX? Yes. With nothing having a price, how do the trades work? So the AMM bot's going to set up the liquidity pairs at the beginning. It's going to harvest all the PRC20 pairs and set those up in the Pulse chain. So that's just for the Ethereum pairs, though. Then there's going to be custom pairs made by people that set them up in project teams. And then when the bridge opens, there'll be bridged in pairs as well. So it's going to be kind of 3 waves of pairs going into the PulseX as it expands, if you imagine that way. But people will get the airdrop in their wallets to be able to trade, ratio trade, all that sort of good stuff there too. Now, if you've got Ethereum in your Ethereum wallet, you'll get 1 Pulse for 1 ETH. So with 1 Ethereum or with 1 Pulse, you'd pretty much be able to do about 1,300 transactions at the current rate on the test net. So we'll see whether that slightly changes when the Pulse chain goes live, because they are making changes to the code. They're pulling the code out of Ethereum and putting it into Go language. And so they're also trying to cover attack vectors as well. We have seen a few items like that with Polygon, where they end up raising Gwei to stop bot attacks that reduce their volume down from like 5.5 million a day down to like 4 million or something like that. So we do see issues like that. So they may be looking at things like that as a possibility. What else there? Excellent. So I won't be able to buy Pulse Chain until launch or before. Yeah, until launch. So the Hex until launch. Hex Token as a boss. Hey Brian, appreciate that. Big super shout out to you, man. Love your work. And of course, hey, I've got the gimbal. Can you see the gimbal? Gimbal. I will be live doing vlogs coming up. I'm just trying to sort out a really good camera for that. And so yeah, we'll look forward to that. It's coming. Kate Fergus says, shout out to Ballet Brand. He is taking time off right now. Want him to know I'm thinking of him and his family. Here's an example to the community. He is, Ballet Brand is an amazing community person, and we appreciate him a lot. Someone messaged the devs for 1 day pre-sale launch phase. Yeah, that's not likely to happen. All right, Pulse Player in house, you missed out, bro. Yeah, but you've got the opportunity. Anytime, I always say, first couple of months is a great time to accumulate new tokens, especially when they're a main chain. So early days. What else we got there? Mr. Frost, good morning, sir, from India. Hey, good to see you, Mr. Frost from India. I appreciate that. And of course, living legend over there in Calcutta. The Hex chart is burning into my monitor from being open for so long. True that, Cryptomaniac. True that. Yeah, I pretty much leave it on all day. Sometimes I come back, and if it doesn't work, I'm like, oh, what happened? What happened? Because most of the time it just sits there. But hey, you know, PLSD just made a new all-time high. Did it? Let's jump over. Let's get rid of. I'm going to get rid of the RSI overbought there. I'm going to get rid of that. Let's move this into section there. Maybe that comment's really old. Look, how old is that comment that I just looked at? 6:13. What time is it now? It's 20 minutes old. Sorry about that. I just got excited. Yeah, it's 20 minutes old, that comment. Nice W pattern. Yeah. I'm going to jump through some of these. I'm going to catch up here, but I'm too far behind. Ryan Goings in house there. I swore I would never invest in a meme coin until PLSD came along. Lol. That's funny, Ryan. Pulse Bitcoin sounds interesting. Yeah, that's a secondary token. It's going to be interesting there. So look here. DB Cooper's in the house. Good to see DB Cooper. When Pulse tread lightly because they fear it, says. Now, yeah. And hey, I actually caught up pretty quickly. George Taco's in the house there. What's up, Superman and family? Good to see you, George. And smash those likes, says KB. Absolutely. What else have we got there? Actually, I thought I was closer to the end than I was. Yeah, here's the Discord. Join the Discord. We've got the links there. Excellent choice as well. Best Discord ever. Yeah. Definitely really help out each other in the Discord. Particularly shout out to some of the moderators. And of course, it's now Brian, Sabat Sammy, Sandy Beach, and everyone else. A pretty friendly crew in there. So really cool. Yeah, I just like Discord app in general until I joined Superman. It's a nice one to get X. I wish I was gone, but hopefully we will see a lot on YouTube. Oh, the PulseCon, yeah. I think it's going to be fun. Now, Brian, it's Brian, I think you're going, Brian. So if you're going to PulseCon, we're going to get some video feeds. And of course, I know that Gen Hex is going, Craig, and it'd be nice to get some little video feeds as well. Feel free, hit me up in the Discord about that. Well, I'm really, really late to the party. Hey, you're not late. Your early days, Pulsechain's not launched yet. Typically, the first couple of months are really the best of the best to accumulate. Great stream, says Z. Hey, appreciate that. Big shout out. Big peace sign for you. And it's now boss. Nothing nodding out. Sorry, man. Great stream later. Oh, hey, Brian, you've had a big day. Rest up well. We'll catch you tomorrow. And of course, change is always the way. What's the snapshot of the wallets take place yet? No, that's coming up in the future. There'll be a block height that will get forked over. And of course, we've currently got the block height at the moment on the testnet. In fact, I'll pull that up. You can sort of see it. It's nice to see it visually. This is the current testnet that we're currently operating on. And you can see the Pulsechain testnet folder at the bottom. And of course, let's go down and see the block height there. I can't remember it off my head. I used to have it in my memory, but I can't remember now. Here it is here. So block 14,360,990 of Ethereum got its Ethereum balances crossed over there. So I'll just zoom in on that so you can see. That is the block that is currently running on our testnet. That's public, and that's March the 10th, 2022 at 7:30 p.m. UTC time. So cool. That is it. So that's what we're currently looking at publicly. There is a V3 version that's running privately. We don't have access to that. Right. Cool. What else have we got going? Let's jump back to the charts here. Hex at 5.2 cents, 981 on Hedron, and 10 cents on Maxi. Looking good. What else have we got there? I'm going to jump through some of these. I love it when he thinks he's caught up quickly, and then he's 20 minutes behind. Yeah, that was hilarious. Because my scrolling bar gets caught sometimes, and I actually see it. You know what that's like. You run StreamYard as well. I use StreamYard just because it's simple. It doesn't have as many functions as my other stream services, but it's just so much easier to use. There's OBS stream, OBS something, OBS something, and that's actually got lots of features, but it's just a bit more clunky to use, to be honest. What else there? I think that's it. I think we're pretty much up to date. Cool. So we're up to an hour and 8 minutes. Not bad, eh? Not bad. So if you missed the last update of Pulsechain, we're going to play that now with Richard Hart as well. Let's go.
About Pulsechain. What is Pulsechain? When is the launch?
Sure.
A lot of people are asking that.
Yeah, well, Pulsechain is the world's largest free airdrop. We're going to reduce Ethereum's fees by basically doubling their capacity or more. We fork the Ethereum system state so that all of your coins get copied on the new chain for free. You can go play with those coins now if you want. Go to pulsechain.com, go use the testnet. You can go trade those coins for fun right now on the testnet. And we're just waiting for the devs to, improve a few things, higher throughput, more security, and then we can go to mainnet. It's just software's hard, right? If you want truly secure software with perfect flawless operation, it takes a while to get it right, and Hex took a long time to get right. And that's the reason Pulsechain, we've been at it for over a year now. Probably longer. We've probably been at it for about a year and a half. And we're close, man. We're so close. If my devs were dumber, we would have already launched. But because my devs are so good, it takes longer because they catch all the things. They're like, hey, this, that. You're like, yeah. So it's to be miraculous because it can reduce the gas fees, which are too high. It can give us higher throughput. It can save the environment.
Yeah.
And it's got better tokenomics. It burns the coins. So 25% of the fees are just burnt. And top of VIP 1559 as well, which also does burning. So I'd have to estimate how much extra burning that'll do. And so we've got PulseX, which is our fork of Uniswap, which does fee burning, no inflation, only deflation. We've got Pulsechain, which has deflation only and fee burning in protocol. It's really awesome. Like, we're going to soon have vertical integration. We're going to have Pulsechain consensus network, PulseX trading, Hex value storage. We've got a wallet being built now as a MetaMask replacement. That's nearly complete vertical integration. The only thing that's missing is fiat on ramps and off ramps. that's it. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
So that's a pretty good update. So just adding a few comments to that. I've said that there's still testing to be done. So I'm not, it's going to launch when it's going to launch. Some of the rationales have been, we've got PulseCon coming up 6th and 9th of September. We've got ETH 2.0, the merge part, at least the first part, the merge, which is just a move to proof of stake coming up, and the schedule for the 9th of September. So September is kind of an attractive period of time. You saw Richard there going, it's getting close, but of course, close can mean different things, right? And of course, he is on a news live stream there. So we just take that tentatively, and of course, wait till it actually launches. The other sort of second theory is maybe in December, January. We've got Heist Stakes coming out. We've got the Hex third birthday in December, and of course, those things playing out there as well. And so, yeah, those kind of things that we're looking at there. So we'll see. We'll see how we go. We'll just have to be patient until then. Thank you, Superman. Check you on the next stream. Have a lovely Sunday evening. And to all, big thanks, Get Hex. Appreciate that. And Cryptomanic, I could use a few months to get ready anyway. Yeah. And this is the other thing, is that it's actually turned out to be quite good because we've had, well over 100 projects, maybe 130 projects launch on Pulsechain. Now, there's varying quality of those projects. Don't get me wrong. Well aware of that. We've covered that a lot on this channel. But they're building more and more and more. Maybe by the time, if it's by September, we'll have more projects. By December, January, depending on when it launches, we'd have way more projects, 300-400 projects. Who knows? It's going to be pretty crazy. So it's actually been really good. The other side, of course, is that the market has had this massive pullback. We don't think it's over yet. Still bear market. We've kind of got technical recession. The market's managed to bat that off at the moment. And of course, we're suspecting that we'll probably have a bit of a long tail down there rather than those two big falls that we had. We might get some decent falls coming up. Richard Hart's target of 10,600, 11,000 still in play. So that's not changed. That said, of course, I think we've got a bit of a reprieve through the month of August, barring anything unexpected. We don't have another Fed interest rate rise till, a review meeting till September. So that gives us about 4 or 5 weeks of reprieve. In that time, of course, we could have Maximus. Very good chance we'll have Maximus and a COSA launching. That's pretty bullish for Hex and, of course, the Hex ecosystem. So exciting. So I think we've actually got a bit of a window of opportunity at the moment in the next, say, 4 or 5 weeks. But I still expect the bear market to run its course and more economic financial news to come later on. Kind of where I feel about that. All right, what else have we got here? But as a Cryptomanic says, I could use a few months to get ready anyway. That's true. It gives you time to accumulate some dry powder, especially if you did the sacrifices and things like that back in July, back in January, February. It does give you time to accumulate more dry powder for good opportunities, because we all know accumulation in the early days is really key as well. Katie says, honestly, the X-Trump has been a blend thing. Absolutely. Kate Fergus says it will be ready when it's ready, kind of like waiting for the hot water in the shower. It's coming. Yeah, that's true. I like that analogy there, Kate. That's pretty cool. See ya, Super says Pulsechain. I appreciate it. Peace out, Pulsechain. And nice one. All right, so coming up to an hour and 15 minutes. I think we're going to wrap up in about a minute. So we're going to play our funky music out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's do a wrap up with the prices here. We've got Bitcoin at, let's put it on the daily chart though. Oh, no, not the hourly. Let's do the daily chart there. And we've got Bitcoin at 23,773. We've got ETH at 1,700. BNB at 293, all pretty much even on 24-hour basis, just about. We've got Hex at the moment looking still really juicy, really good. And maybe a day or two left in this rise. Hopefully we'll get higher. I'd really like to consolidate around 6.2 cents. That'd be really nice. We did get up to 5.7 today. That's teasing us. But we did that last time we got the top two. We're at 5.6. I really would like to get 6.2, 6.3. And we have been performing pretty well against Bitcoin. Remember, 80% of our liquidity is with US dollars. So, it's a kind of a little bit of a moot point. It does have correlation sentiment, I guess. So on the hourly, though, we're back up here. We did get down to 5 cents, back up at 522. And, of course, slowly staircasing our way up, hopefully, continues. And, of course, the Hedron at 981, attacking that 1,000 mark. Hopefully, we'll get over this time. And, of course, we've got Maximus there at 10 cents with a premium of, drum roll, premium of 90%, holding up, sort of trying to just get itself back up there. And finally, Pulse Dodge there at pretty much all-time high levels. at $5.91. The highest so far, $6.05. Really looking impressive there. I'm suspecting we'll get a little bit of a consolidation here at some stage. We must be pretty close to it, and then maybe we'll get another step up there because staking and deflation has still got to come out there. So if they launch that early, we could get some pretty bullish stuff there. They're still spreading the word pretty strongly on media, on social media too. Still trending on Twitter quite often. So trying to get more and more people on board there. And I suspect that the whales have got a lot of dry powder. Now, I think there is one whale that has got a lot of US dollars that continues to buy it up as well. So they may be creating a bit of a pattern on the chart as well. So food for thought there. Not investment advice, of course, just my opinion. Woo-hoo-hoo! All right, so cool. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let us. I've got a few comments in the chat here. What do we got there? Mid-May. Yes, it's Pulse Card mid-May. Yeah. All right, let's get through some of the final chats here. Possibly, what will be the best one to use? Try Lucky Base or Decky. Well, I think the Decky will probably get valued the most. In the polls we had, it was Base and Decky were the ones that people said they wanted the most. I kind of feel like the longer one may be of the highest valuation, just like Maximus is kind of where I feel about there. But there is some optionality value about the Base token. So it's a food for thought. KD and House State Night All and Stevie D's good call. Superman BitConnect massive scam. Thanks for calling it out. Absolutely, Stevie D. I watched that. I watched them do that for all that time. I watched all the top YouTubers in BitConnect, and I laughed at the time. I just said, "There's no way they can give that under the tokenomics at the time. There's no way they could deliver that consistently. It made no sense whatsoever." And of course, the pyramid scheme seemed fairly obvious in there. Richard Hart network only for the highest ROI. Yep. And cheers, Superman and all, says Tony Stark. Hey, you're welcome. All right, let's play out the last videos. Let me leave it on the Hex chart. There we are, and we're going to play out our video here. Let's go. All right, bye for now. Take care, everybody. And which one we should do? We're going to do two first. Let's do two videos, and the first one is our famous one with our funky music. I love this because it's so pumpy. Our Power City core. Let's go.
So as everyone knows, it's been a real rough period for crypto investors, and many are actually saying, though, that this turmoil is having something of a cathartic effect, right? In the sense that, listen, it gets rid of the poorly run coins and companies and even some bad actors. Meanwhile, the community itself has really turned into a whole bunch of individual tribes, a lot of believers, of course, committed to their favorite coins. In fact, yesterday I read where a well reportedly bought 20 million Shiba Inu for 210 million. That would have been the largest purchase in history there. I do want to bring in now Hex.com founder Richard Hart. You know, Richard, you are the man behind Hex, and it's been some tough sledding for you, like everyone else of late. Just tell us exactly, you know, what it is, why you created it.
Well, I mean, Bitcoin's got a lot of stuff it can't do. So, you know, right now you're seeing everyone lose all their money, and I do mean all of their money, to people that said they would give them more coins. They tried to earn yield on their Bitcoin. They gave their keys to somebody else, which is the opposite of why crypto was invented. It was invented to get rid of middlemen. So what does everyone do? They give their keys to middlemen that have a good story. They're going to give you some interest. I invented something that I gave for free to Bitcoin holders that let them generate yield by holding their own keys without giving them to somebody else.
So I've did some research, and I want to just ask you about a couple of things, because you've got some detractors out there. It might be a easy way of saying it. And I saw one article in one FI titled "Richard Hart's Hex Token is a Brilliant Scam." It says that the biggest problem with Hex is that the answers you just referred to being paid, but the token doesn't generate revenue, so the only place money can come from is other investors. That would be a Ponzi scheme, no matter how much you spend it. And then, of course, it goes on to say you lay it on thick. What do you say to an article like that? What do you say to an article like that?
Everyone misuses these words. A Ponzi scheme is a fraudulent endeavor where people are told they're going to get paid more from a business activity that doesn't really exist. It's fraudulent. And there's a middleman that pays you your rewards. The family likeness test would say that Hex is most similar to Bitcoin, where miners create money out of thin air and pay themselves their own rewards through the fruits of their own labor. And therefore, since there's no middleman, since you mint your own coins, it cannot be a Ponzi. It can be a bubble, which is why the price drops 85% every 3 or 4 years. But then it goes on to make new all-time highs. So Bitcoin's dropped 85% 3 or 4 times now, and yet it's gone up 690 million%, from a penny to $69,000. And so all Hex is Bitcoin with a proof of work change, where we pay people inflation to hold the price up through staking instead of paying them to destroy the environment through SHA-256 mining. So that's all it is. It's Bitcoin with a proof of work change.
I've been bringing a lot of folks on in your space because I'm trying to learn all of this. And again, when people found out you were coming on, I got a whole bunch of articles. There's another one I want to ask you about because, listen, obviously you've got a pretty strong following, but there was one in AZ Coin. This is 2019. And it says worrisome Hex founder Richard Hart was revealed to be a notorious scammer known as the Spam King. Again, listen.
I got sued for $500 in civil court 20 years ago, and I couldn't pay for a lawyer to defend myself because in small claims court, you can't have a lawyer defend you.
Okay.
It would have cost me more than $500 to fly to Washington to go win the case. So I don't think being sued for $500 in small claims court makes you a Spam King.
Richard, where do we go from here with respect to the overall crypto space, Bitcoin, and Hex itself?
I called the top on the day. Everyone else told you Bitcoin was going to 100,000. I told you it was going down to 10,000. Why? Because it drops 85% every once in a while. But people, they forget that happens. They always think that this time's different. Nope, this time's not different. Are people paying $1 million for JPEGs, or more accurately, serial numbers loosely related to JPEGs, which may or may not still be hosted on the internet? Yes, they are. As long as people are doing that, you have to have a crash. The reality will not let idiots that buy JPEGs for $1 million survive.
For Hex, right? I understand you control like 80, 88%.
Oh, Hex.
People want to know, as they're getting in, are you not getting out?
The best time, the origin address has never sold a single Hex. Vitalik dumps Ethereum on your head all the time. The Ethereum Foundation dumps Ethereum on your head all the time. Chainlink founder dumps Chainlink on your head all the time. The origin address in Hex has never sold a single coin, ever. If you want to know who's dumping, just go look. It's all on chain. All of Hex's trading is on chain. Unlike that crap that you see, the fake volume and fake exchange trading you see for all the other coins. All of our stuff's on chain. You can see who sold, when they bought, what other coins they like, when they're locked up for. It's a miracle. It's the most transparent trading in the entire industry.
All right. Hey, that's all the time we have. I appreciate you coming on, and I do say...
You know I called the top on the day, right?
I did
the
not
only guy
know
that did
that.
it.
I did not know that. I'm waiting
I
for you to
called the
call. I
price
thought you were going to come on
on
the
the
show
day.
and call the bottom. No, that's what I'm looking for.
I'll call the bottom when it's 11K.
All right,
and
cool.
then maybe we go a little deeper.
Sounds
See you,
good.
man.
Richard,
Pleasure.
thank you very much. All right, folks, of course, I want to hear.
Bitcoin's amazing run. Went up, 23x in so many days. Green line up, parabola, fell out of the parabola, red line. Do I run a paid group or I just make amazing price calls for free? I make amazing price calls for free. I called the Bitcoin top on the day. Did I charge you for it? Did I charge you anything for the education? No. Why? Because I've been a retired multimillionaire since 2003. I brag about it all the time. I called the top. And I told you last cycle, Ethereum topped 27 days after Bitcoin did. This cycle, Ethereum topped exactly 27 days after Bitcoin did. Exact same thing. Yep, there you go. Bitcoin's great run.
This one?
Here's where we fall out of the parabola. Yep. Just click the chart. Hey, look, we're going up. Oh, look, we're not going up no more. Doom time. And check the timestamp, and that timestamp equals the picture in the chart. That's where I called the top. Anytime we get one of these big run-ups, which, by the way, is usually following by a crash, which I think we are due for the rest of the crash. We're already down half. I think we'll go down another 75% to an 85% total drop. Nobody else thinks that.
80% total drop for what?
I think Bitcoin will tap $10,000 from its high of 65,000 because that's what it normally does. It drops 85%. Ethereum usually drops 95% because it has lower liquidity. So it acts like a leverage position on Bitcoin to some degree.
Well,
so Bitcoin runs up, ETH runs up higher.
The people in the Bitcoin ecosystem tell me, look, Bitcoin is unlikely to do what it has been doing in the past couple of cycles, which is drop 80%, precisely because new institutional money have already been placed in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Institutional investors now with more money are likely to make the coin less volatile, so to speak.
It's not
How
true.
would you respond to that?
They're wrong and I'm right. And I believe that we already had our top at 65K on Bitcoin, 4,400 on Ethereum, and I think we'll find new lows. I think you'll see Ethereum down at 300. I think you'll see Bitcoin down at 10,000 because historically that is what they have done in the past. And if you try and play this time as different game, you're going to lose all your money. Usually it's not different. Usually history tends to repeat itself. Usually the market behavior rhymes. It's not identical, but it rhymes. The top for Bitcoin in this cycle, which had just, I guess, made a new top, so it was a local top, but it lasted 6 months, I called it on the day. I said, this is a top. So Bitcoin went from $65,000 down to $30,000. I think it might even went 29.5, 28, something like that, depending on what exchange you're on. And so it dropped 55% from that day. And how did I know it was that day? Because it fell out of the parabola and everyone had their eyes on a single day. It was the easiest call ever. But it didn't go down the 85 like it normally did. It only went down 55 and now it went up again. But because it went up again, I don't know if it could do a double top. It could just be a temporary higher high and it could go make a new low and make everyone very sad. It took 6 months to make a slightly higher high from 65 to 69. And now
you predicted 60K. Are you prepared to make a prediction on the low?
Yeah, 85% drop. So it was 10K, but now that we went up to 69, it's 11K. I believe in the 85% drop. I believe in people selling the bottom. I believe in the pain. And I don't believe in people buying $1 million JPEGs forever and being profitable forever. Nope. These are reflexive systems. People buy because they go up. They sell because they go down. It went down more than 50%. It fell out of the parabola. When things fall out of parabolas, they drop 85%.
Bullish?
On Bitcoin? No.
Are you bullish on Ethereum?
No.
Why not?
The market's already had a bull run for 3 years. Ethereum already did a 50x. Jimmy Fallon of The Tonight Show has an NFT for his profile picture. El Salvador bought it. Michael Saylor bought it. The world's richest guy bought it. Who didn't buy yet? Who hasn't heard of it yet? You've been in a bull run for 3 years now. You dropped out of the parabola. You dropped 55%. By the way, I called the top on the day. And that top call was good for 8.5 months now and only out of profit one single day by about 6%. Even less than 6%, actually. And I do that for free.
So it's down 38% now.
Yeah.
Does that mean that this is a good time to buy? What's going on? Where's it going next? No?
No, when it falls out of the parabola, it goes up with a parabolic rise. When it falls out of the parabola, it tends to drop 85% of its value. So 85% down from 69K is 11K. Hello, everybody. Richard Hart here. I called the Bitcoin top on the day 10 months ago while everyone else told you it was going to $100,000. There was a 65K top, and then it went down 55%, under 30K, and then it bounced. It went up to 69, back down to doom again. Now it's at 35. So, you know, bounces aren't illegal. You do get bounces. As a matter of fact, I called a bounce, and my tweet was the literal exact bottom of the bounce. I said, look, we're due for a 12% bounce. We got the 12% bounce, and then we went and did new doom. Who does it better? Nobody. Nobody does it better. I mean, look, I won't tell you I hate bragging because I kind of like it, but I deserve it, man. And that's why I changed my username too. I called the Bitcoin top. And who are they putting on TV? People that got you wrecked.
Here it is. Here's the first one. Here's the second one, which is why I brought you back here today, because you did call the top right. I don't think many people gave you the credit because.
It's hard, man. It's hard to take the opposite position to absolutely everyone else, but you know, sometimes you have to.
Where's the next low then for Bitcoin?
Traditionally, Bitcoin drops 85% after a parabolic blow off top. This cycle was different because the government, it should go down to about 11K. So since it was,
that's a reasonable
yes,
expectation.
Agree, yes, because it's what it has been doing for decades. It always drops 85%.
What's going to happen to Hex?
Hex continues to have giant dips like it always has, but it also makes new all-time highs. You got to understand that an 80% dip only cancels out a 5x pump. And when you have a 1,000,000% pump, you would have to drop 999999999% to cancel it out. Bitcoin had its run.
It's not had its run. Bitcoin's early days, man. Bitcoin's going to have its real run.
Dude that bought 13-year-old bag that just got here is like, yo, I didn't buy the top. I called the top of the day. You did not. You probably dollar cost averaged into the top on the day. Like, I'm telling you as a person that knows more about Bitcoin than you. I called the Bitcoin top on the day 11 months ago. Who else called the top on the day? Nobody. I called the top on the day, and it's been in profit every single day except one. It's a little tiny day where it made a little Judas candle, got everybody long, a fake breakout, and then went straight down. Dropped 55% after that little fake out candle. What else? Yeah, called the tops on the day for free. Free YouTube, youtube.com/Richard Hart, you name it. We're just living the dream out here. You know, we're doing everything better, and people are starting to figure it out. They're starting to go like, oh, wow, those guys are really killing it. Big Simp 69 asks, have I ever called the Bitcoin top? Yes, I have. More than once. He took on leverage. He encumbered his Bitcoin that he has to get more Bitcoin at a higher price. And now he gets liquidated at 21K. And I think the price will go down to 11K.
Do you think he took out collateralized loans?
Yeah, he bragged about it. He tweeted about it and bragged about it. You know, he took on 200 million of leverage from Silvergate Bank with a Bitcoin collateralized loan, and it's just reflexivity. So now, instead of never having to get liquidated, now you've got a leverage position. And what are the 3 ways smart people go broke? Liquor, ladies, leverage.
Yeah, so once again, Richard Hart doing victory laps. Called top on the day. Bitcoin, told you 27 days later, Ethereum, it did the same. Told you don't pick up pennies in front of freight trains. Withdraw your money, not your keys, not your coins. Celsius stops withdrawals today. Celsius is down 99%. I can't be more right. I'm always right. It's like, it just sucks that the things I'm right about are things that are getting, people are just choosing to get themselves wrecked. I know, what else I can do for you, it's crazy.
People are like, oh, you were bullish in November of 2017. You're like, yeah. And then the price went up. And then when right before the price started going down, I called it. Like, people are so dumb. They don't update their worldview. Ethereum used to suck. It used to only have scams on it. Then it kicked ass. Yeah. And now it's too expensive and too full. So I have to launch a new thing called Pulsechain. So, you have to update your worldview. Technology is a constantly evolving process. And if you don't update your worldview, you're just going to get left behind. That's the biggest truck I've ever seen. What the fuck? Wow.
We're driving the baddest monster truck you ever seen in your life. Most monster trucks, they got 2 wheels in the front that turn. This one's got 4. 4 54-inch wheels turning in the front, another 4 in the back. This is an 8-wheel monster truck. Took 5 years to build. It's got a 6.6 liter single turbo diesel engine running 25 pounds of boost with a Allison 1000 gearbox 6-speed. This is a bad bitch. If the global zombie apocalypse or pandemic is coming to rain on your parade, this here will get you out of trouble. But it's not so good for getting McDonald's. It's really hard to get around, you know. It's good for bumping your head and feeling fit.